What's up, guys? Welcome to Parlay Power Hour for August 2nd, 2021. The boys are buzzing today. As usual, I'm joined by Will. The Wizard Reed is 62 and 55. I'll give you a chance to talk about your record in a minute here. I want to introduce Grant so he doesn't get his feelings hurt, obviously. And then Grant, the one and only Mitchell, banging on his keyboard this morning. I can hear his keyboard right now ringing in my ear because he's Grant 94 and 74. How you doing today, Grant? We'll start with Grant. Well, he's sensitive, you know.
I'm doing great. I went 3-0 on Friday. We had a great discussion with our fans on Friday, so shout out to everybody that was there. We hope to see you back in here. But it ended up being a really good day for me, so can't ask for much more.
Now, Grant, do you think they were here just to see you, or do you think they were here to see all of us?
I think they were here to see all of us.
I didn't like that answer out of him. Well, I wanted him to be a little more confident.
I know.
I wanted him to say, this is what I wanted him to say, yes, because I am the show. That's what I wanted him to say, but he didn't do it. You just failed, Grant. That should be a loss on your record. Anyways, Will the Wizard Reed is here. He is 62 and 55 on the season. Will, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. That record is not looking great, but I think Grant took the team approach to this. We are a team here at Parlay Power Hour trying to get everybody the best pick. So I appreciate that answer out of Grant. I liked it. It was fine. But I'm excited to be here. My brother wanted me to help him move something earlier today. And what? No, my older brother. I was helping him move something into his house, but he was taking too long. I was like, I got Parlay Power Hour to get to. I can't do this right now, man. So I had to dip his house, came over here, and we're going to have a good show.
Yeah, well, your brother's not employing you to move stuff into his house. You're an employee of Parlay Power Hour. So that's a good decision out of you, Will. I am, let's see here. I'm not good either. I'm 60 and 48, but shout out to myself on MLB Daily Picks, 11 and 4 yesterday. Bounced back 5 games away from being 200 over 500. If you want legit MLB Moneyline picks every day, I'm the guy to deliver it to you, except if it involves the Boston Red Sox because they suck right now, and I'm going to pick them every day, no matter what. Just throw that out there. Couple announcements. Subscribe to the Sports 2.0 network as usual, guys. We are over 900. We're closing in on 1K. We got some fun stuff planned for 1K. We will have some cool edits coming out. We'll have some giveaways, so make sure you check that out, guys. Subscribe so you never miss a beat there. And as usual, this is the best hour of your day. Let's get into it. Grant, we'll start with you. Yankees versus Orioles. Over 10 runs. The Savages are back. The short porch is in full effect tonight. We're back at Yankee Stadium. Even though Grant wrote it wrong down there, the Savages are back. Grant, talk to me about this.
Yeah, the Savages are back, and they're going against Jorge Lopez, who is 2-12, 6.19 ERA. Rizzo's homered in every game, I think, as a Yankee so far. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Rizzo, Bryant, and Baez all homered in their first games with their new teams. I thought that was pretty cool. But Chicago Cubs fans were not happy with that. But regardless, the short porch is back. The Yankees, they're playing well, kind of. I mean, they didn't score as many runs as you might have thought they would against the Marlins, but they won all 3. They're going up against a very favorable matchup in their home stadium tonight. Orioles can score, but they can't really win. So I think they'd get 3 or 4 on the board, and then the Yankees carry it to the over 10.
This game's staying under, Grant. You're so wrong here. Here's the thing. The Yankees went into Miami this weekend. If they didn't have Anthony Rizzo on their team, they wouldn't have won those games. Or if the Marlins didn't suck, they wouldn't have won those games. This game's going to stay under. The Yankees are not hitting the baseball right now. Anthony Rizzo is hitting the baseball. And you know what I love about Yankee fans, too? They're like saying, Anthony Rizzo is the new face of this team. He's a new headliner. He's been there 3 days, guys. Like, you really are looking for – that's how bad you are. You're looking for a new headliner after 3 days. Anthony Rizzo will – I bet he'll probably be a Yankee at the end of the year, though. I think they're going to sign him in free agency. But what are you going to do? Right now, he's a rental. He's a 3-game rental so far, and you guys are already calling him the face of the franchise. If he homers tonight, you probably will. This game still goes under tonight. The Orioles haven't been playing well either. Will, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the first appearance of Andrew Heaney on the mound for the Yankees, I believe, and Jorge Lopez for the Orioles is not great. So it's not the best pitching matchup out there, but Grant mentioned it. The Orioles can score. We're going back to Yankee Stadium, so I'm not too worried about people hitting bombs there, especially since Anthony Rizzo has been doing it either way. So I think this has a decent chance of going over, but I'll go with the over in this one.
You're wrong, Tanner.
I'm right. I'm going to take the over on Jorge Lopez, over 2.5 strikeouts tonight. That's what I think. All right, we'll go to Will here. Will's got Orioles Yankees. He's got the Yankees on the run line. I like this bet. I don't like the over as much because, again, they're not hitting the ball besides Anthony Rizzo. We got to factor that into the equation. But Will, talk to me about why you like the run line on this game.
Yeah, they haven't been hitting the ball well, but the Orioles just aren't that great of a team. And when you can get this, it's not great value, but when you can get a bet with the Yankees run line against the Orioles, I'll usually take it. You mentioned it, Anthony Rizzo has been playing pretty well. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but in his first few games with the Yankees, he was still wearing his Chicago Cubs gloves. So his uniform was looking a little off there, but he's been playing out of his mind. He should be. Hopefully he keeps it up. I think he does in this game, especially against Jorge Lopez, who has not been great for the Orioles. Look at that ERA of 6.19. It's not very great. But the Yankees do have Andrew Heaney coming over from the Angels. I think he probably puts in a better performance than he has for the Angels so far this year. He's 6-7 with a 5.27 ERA. So not great, but I think being in Yankee Stadium might favor him better. Who knows? But I'm going to go with the Yankees on the run line.
All right. Andrew Heaney is going to absolutely suck tonight, probably. So we got to factor that into the equation. Like, people don't know what it's like to play at Yankee Stadium. If you're a West Coast person playing for the Angels, like, I know he's pitched in Yankee Stadium before, but like, they don't care about baseball in Anaheim. They care about baseball in New York. He's going to get turned on as soon as he walks someone tonight. Anthony Rizzo will probably get booed if he strikes out tonight. That's just how Yankee fans operate. So, Grant, do the Yankees cover tonight? I think they do, but I don't expect Heaney to be that good. And I don't expect Jorge Lopez to be that good, honestly.
I think the Yankees do cover, but I'm wondering how you can think both the pitchers are going to be bad and it stays under.
We're going to go to the bullpen early, and it's going to stay out. I'm not saying it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be like a 6-4 game, and it's going to be a push.
All right, that cop out.
It's not a cop out. It's the truth. There could be a
I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but whenever Tanner's like, I'm gonna go with the under, but it's gonna be at least like a half run under, or it's gonna push.
That's the move.
So he thinks they're gonna score, but he's gonna cop out and say it's under.
Hey, I'm gonna bet the over on 10.5, and I think there's gonna be 10 runs scored. That means I lose. I would never say that. You guys, if the over is 10, this is a 10 over, but if the over was like 10.5, and I think 10 runs are gonna be scored, I'm gonna bet the under because you know what? I'm gonna win, guys. That's how it works.
That's a pretty big fence you're sitting on.
I'd rather sit on it though than have the game go over. If I think the game's gonna go under on 10.5, but 10 runs are gonna be scored, I'm gonna bet the under. That's ballsy. That's a risk taker. That's a real better. There you go. Mets money line versus the Miami Marlins. We're going to stay in. Well, this game is not in New York because, as you can see, I wrote it correctly. Mets money line versus Miami Marlins. So this game is down in Miami. Miami Marlins actually had a pretty good crowd this weekend, considering, the Yankees were there, so we got to factor that into the equation, but they didn't have a bad crowd. Mets on the money line, though. If you want to take them on the run line, you're going to get a lot more value. I just think that's a little riskier. Not that I'm scared to take it. I'm not scared to take it, but this is a smarter bet. I'd rather put more money on this than take them on the run line because, as we know, the Mets don't really hit the ball. We got Javier Baez. He hit a home run. Great. Big freaking deal. The Mets still don't hit the baseball consistently. The Miami Marlins don't hit the baseball consistently. If they would have done that this weekend, they would have won a freaking game against the New York Yankees, and the Savages wouldn't be back. Tyler McGill is on the mound for New York. That's what you need to know in this game. McGill's been sensational. He has been the reason I have bet the Mets 1-0, 2.04 ERA in 35 innings. I know it's not a huge workload, but his past two starts, he has been sensational. He keeps it going tonight. He's going against Sandy Alcantara. Going to be a low-scoring game. Mets pull it out. Money line, minus 152. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't really have too many issues with this. They're both of these teams are kind of going in opposite directions. The Mets loaded up at the trade deadline, got Javier Baez. They're trying to make a push and try to extend that lead in the NL East. The Marlins are kind of just treading water at the bottom of the NL East and just being in typical Marlins fashion, just not playing very good baseball. So, yeah, I don't have any issues with this pick.
I'm like Kim Ng, like the general manager. She why are we loading up on pitchers? We don't need pitchers, Kim Ng. We need freaking hitters. We can't hit the baseball. Grant, what do you think?
Yeah, neither team can really hit the baseball. I think the Baez trade, it was one of the most confusing trades at the deadline for me because obviously he helps them. He gives them some power, a little more consistent. Oh, whoa.
Wait, no, Grant, finish, Grant, finish. I didn't mean to throw that up. I just had to. Finish, Grant.
I was going to say, I get why they got Baez. He gives them some power. He gives them a little more consistency in their lineup. But it's also confusing to me because the Mets aren't going to do anything. So unless you figure you're going to wrap him up long term at the end of his contract, I guess that's okay. But other than that, Baez doesn't make the Mets. They're still an inconsistent team, and there are two great pitchers on the mound. So I would take this one. Every once in a while, the Marlins win some games they shouldn't. So that I don't love betting against them, but they haven't been playing well lately. I would also look at this game maybe staying under 7.5. We were talking about that in pre-production. 7.5's a little low, so I shied away from it. But it is going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah, I mean, Baez does not make the Mets a championship franchise. He's a big name, like he's a 2-time All-Star, he's a Gold Glove, but like he doesn't make them better. He makes them better because when I saw the Mets in person, they only have 4 or 5 guys that can hit the ball. He makes them better, but does he take them over the hump? I mean, I don't think does Rich Hill take them over the hump? I don't think so. Does who else they get?
They could have traded for the best names in baseball, and it wouldn't make a difference. Like this roster as a whole is just not built to make it deep into the postseason. They're only getting talked about, as much as they are because they're in such a weak division anyway. If they were in, a different division, if they were in the Central, I mean, much less the West, no way we'd be talking about them.
Yeah, I mean, they're not very good. Now, more important matters here. We need to get to this. We need Lola. Why don't you ask me if I'm single? What the hell? Lola, is Will single? Will, are you single?
I am single.
Oh, okay, Lola.
I guess there's a crush brewing over there from one of our Twitch followers. I appreciate it, Lola. If you want to hit my phone, you can go to my Instagram _ Will Reed _ I don't know what you look like or what you're like, but we'll see what happens.
You know what?
Will, who said they had a crush on you? Why are you just jumping to? Why are you just assuming?
I would assume from that question, Grant.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
That's a pretty telling question.
I don't know if it is. I don't know.
You're jumping to conclusions over there. Don't get too excited.
Oh wait, Lola, we got a smiley face here. Okay,
Ooh.
I think someone might be sliding a little later. Let's throw Will. I gotta throw Will's Twitter @ _Will.
That's my Instagram.
Oh well, that's where the slides go down. If you didn't know. All right, @ Will Reed. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Lola, screenshot that right now. I expect a message sent to Will Reed today. Hit him up. All right, screenshot that right now. Why don't you ask me if I'm single, Lola? Rude. Anyways, wait, we got more questions. Mr. Walker, this is not Tinder.
It's more direct, if anything.
This is not Tinder. No, Mr. Walker, this is all about betting. We're going to get back to the show in a minute, but we got to have some personality on here. Y'all can bet on it. Okay, Lola, I see you, girl. I see you. Or boy, I don't know who you are, but I see you. I see you. All right. And Lola is #1 fan of the show, and Mr. Walker's getting up there too now, so we got to support them both. All right. I've just made a bet here. Let's go to Diamondbacks Giants -1.5. Grant, Giants on the run line. Chris Bryant looks good in a freaking Giants jersey. Speaking of crushes, Chris Bryant looks good. He's only going to be there a year or next 2 months, but he looks really good. Grant, talk to me about this.
Yeah, so in pre-production, we were kind of joking back and forth, like, who's going to make this bet? There are a couple of easy ones on the schedule today. The Brewers and the Pirates, obviously, is another one. But this show is about making winning bets. So as straightforward as it is, this is a winning bet. The Giants are way, way better than the Diamondbacks. Somehow the odds are actually decent. Like if you look at the sports book, I have the Blue Jays at -260 over the Indians on the money line. But the Giants are only -200 over the Diamondbacks. Like I just don't get how the odds are so favorable in this one. So yeah, Chris Bryant, he looks amazing. I think that's a huge deal for them in the postseason. Even though the Dodgers made more moves, I feel like Chris Bryant can be the guy for the team who says, I've been there and I've done this, and they can get behind him. But I mean, like, what is there to say about this particular game? Giants are better in every way.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Giants; they're not very. They're much better. I mean, are they? I want to talk about the Dodgers here for a minute because look what the Dodgers did this past weekend to the Arizona Diamondbacks. They literally took them and dragged them through. They dragged them on the ground. It was a blowout. I don't even know how to say it, but there were multiple blowouts. They won 13-0 yesterday. I'd like to see the Giants do that to the Diamondbacks, but I think the Dodgers are ready to rock and roll right now. Giants, they should cover tonight, no doubt about it. I'm still shook from Blanco Lola hitting on Will during the show, guys. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to recover. But anyways, Will, talk to me about this one. What do you think?
Yeah, this one's pretty easy to figure out. The Giants also, like Grant didn't mention it, but you can also mention that Desclafani's on the mound for the Giants, one of their better pitchers. So this one is pretty easy. It comes as easy as it gets with this one. The Giants are the way better team. The Diamondbacks have just been awful. They got rid of their only quality hitter in their lineup and Eduardo Escobar at the deadline, which was a smart move. But now that they have no one that's hit over 10 home runs, I think, in their lineup, and people that are barely scratching 30 RBIs on the season. So they're not going to be scoring runs. They showed that this week against the Dodgers, and the Giants are just a better team.
I got the same thing, Grant. I'm going to roll with the Giants tonight on the run line versus the D-backs. This game is in Arizona, just to let people
Tanner
know.
picked the Giants. Everybody, stop the presses.
The Dodgers are not playing tonight.
Tanner has taken the Giants.
No. I will pick the Dodgers against the Giants every day of the week because you know what? The Dodgers are a better team. Whether it's what are the standings? How far back? All I was doing was staring at the standings this morning. I didn't look at the National League. I was looking at the American League because I'm shook by the Red Sox.
Giants are 3 games ahead of the Dodgers.
All right, whoop-de-freaking do. 3 games. You know what 3 games can do in a week? Like the Yankees went from 10 games back to 7 games back now because they had a good weekend. All it takes is a good weekend and your opponent losing. This is the Dodgers division. It might as well just give it to them right now, but Chris Bryant does add a huge element of depth to this team. When you look at a wild card game, if the Dodgers or the Giants are in a wild card game against the Padres, they could beat the Padres. Padres don't even look good right now. You look at a 5-game, 7-game series. I like the Giants. Giants could play well, but if they're playing the Dodgers, this is the Dodgers team.
I would have argued before the deadline, but it's hard to make an argument now.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers, like I said, like I told Grant, and I wrote this article, it's like the Dodgers literally said during the deadline that we are better. We're the Los Angeles Dodgers, and we're better than you, and we will always be better than you. Anyways, all right, let's keep going here. D-backs, Giants, Grant's got Mariners. Oh, you like the Mariners at minus? Wait, I will. I hope this is Mariner plus, right?
Sorry.
I'll throw mine up. I got the same thing. So we'll just
I'm not doing that. I'm going to take the Rays.
Oh, okay. All right.
You wrote it backwards.
-1. You got the Rays at -1.5?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll fix it right now. You start talking, big guy. Blanco Lola. This is not good showing for Blanco Lola.
I fixed it right here. It's okay. Up there.
Big time.
But no, I mean, this one's just simple. Comes down to how both of these two teams have been playing recently. The Mariners are 5-5 in their last 10. The Rays are 7-3, but the Rays just did come off of a series sweep versus the Red Sox. Tanner Kern's very own Boston Red Sox.
I'm down on them right now. I'm down on them. You can make fun of them because I'm down on this team right now. So go ahead, give it to me.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it pre-production. I didn't even know that they left 10 runners on base versus the Rays yesterday in that 3-2 game that they lost. So, I mean, they should have come away with a victory in that one. They didn't. Usually, Tanner usually talks about it. Usually they come back and win those types of games, but they just didn't do it yesterday. They didn't execute, and the Rays pitching was able to shut them down once they got those runners on base. And the Mariners, they lost 2 out of 3 against the Rangers. They did not look good. They do have the favorable pitching matchup in this one with Chris Flexen on the mound versus Michael Walker. That kind of scares me, but with the way these two teams have been playing, going in opposite directions, the Rays now the lead in the AL East. The Mariners are kind of sliding back in that AL West division. So I'm going to go with the Rays on the run line.
So I'm going to go against you. I'm going to go with the Mariners at +1.5. And granted, I don't even know if I'm confident in this bet, but I like it because Chris Flexen's on the bump, because I think the Mariners bounce back after a bad series, because the Mariners are not a terrible team, and because the Rays only beat the Red Sox this week. Now, I know we're talking Mariners and Red Sox. It's apples and orange. I think that means same comparison, but one's here, one's there, obviously. But we look at this game this weekend, right? We look at what the Rays did to the Red Sox. The Red Sox didn't play well. In the Rays, we can talk about them blowing the Red Sox off the field in 2 games. It only happened 1 game. I don't count Saturday as a blowout. If you look at the score, it does not demonstrate what happened during the game. The Rays had a breakout inning, and all that happened with like 1 or 2 outs. I was watching this at a sports bar, so I don't really know the exact details of it. After the Rays started mauling the Red Sox, I just started crying, basically. But anyways, We look at the Mariners. Are they good? No. Are they a wild card team? No. But plus 1.5 at -104, I like that, considering that the Rays don't always hit the baseball. We got to shut down Nelly Cruz, and we got to shut down Wander Franco. That's the biggest thing. But we really need to shut down these big innings. If they prevent the big inning, they will cover on the run line today at plus 1.5. I guarantee it. Flexen throws a gem. The bullpen does something down the stretch, and we get the job done.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. So the only real case I can make for Tanner here is the Mariners are up 4-0 in the season series, which that is something. But the Rays, they're better. They've been better lately. The Mariners have been going downhill. They just lost the series to the Texas Rangers, whereas the Rays just swept the Sox. I've got to go with Will, just based on recent performances.
If you know what, though, here's the thing. You got to pick that game out every day. And granted, if you don't want to take this bet, don't take it, because it's either going to go really good or really bad. There's no like in between. It's not going to, like, if the Mariners lose this game, they're going to probably lose by 1 billion runs today. It's not going to be like a 3-run game. It's either going to be a 1-run game or they're going to get blown off the field. But like Grant said, the Mariners have real estate in the Tampa Bay Rays heads. They have free real estate in their heads. They're playing not great baseball, but they're still in the hunt for that wild card. Go with the Mariners today. I like them at plus 1.5. Everyone disagrees with me. I got the whole freaking nation against me today, but we're going to deliver.
In that four game series earlier in the season, the Mariners did win, did sweep, but 2 of those games went to extra innings, and the Mariners were able to take it in 10 innings. So it wasn't like they completely blew them out of the water. A lot of those games were close.
You know what good teams do, Will?
They win games.
Good teams find a way to win close games. That's what you need to know. Every day, guys, if everyone was supposed to beat
if that
everyone,
was the case, the Mariners would have more wins than 56. But
I could care less. Stop talking. if every game was supposed to go with the favorite, sportsbooks would not be in business, okay? Degenerates like us would not be able to bet on these games, okay? Because we would just put everything on the favorites. Underdogs win. Today they cover. Lock it up. Chris Flexen throws a gem, and they get the job done there. All right, so we got one more here. You each got Phillies. All right, this is going to be good because Grant's got the Phillies, and then Will's going with the Nationals. Will's a Nationals fan, though, and probably shouldn't be making that bet today. But Phillies, money line, Grant, talk to me about it.
Yeah, I'm a Nationals fan. It's fair to say I'm a smaller Nationals fan. Will's more invested than I am. But the Nationals team is just unrecognizable at this point. After the deadline, they just cleaned house. Really, all they've got left is Soto. I mean, they got rid of Scherzer, they got rid of Turner, they got rid of their big guys. And the Phillies have actually been playing decently well. Another former National, Bryce Harper, has been going bonkers lately. They just beat the Pirates 15-4. They lost the 2 games before, which doesn't really help my case, but whatever. They split the series 2-2 last week, and that was before some of the Nationals' moves were made. So obviously they should have a bit of an advantage there. Ranger Suarez is on the mound for the Phillies today, 5-3 with a 1.1 ERA in 40 innings. Now, all those haven't been starts, but that's a very good stat to have. He's going against Josiah Gray, who I think has appeared in 2 major league games. And he has a 6.7 ERA. He was good in the minors, but he pretty much only played in single and double A. He had 1 game in triple A and 2 games in the majors, so he's very unproven. The Phillies are just a safer pick here. I would be tempted to take them on the run line as well, but just because it's the Phillies, they're not a surefire. I took them on the money line.
Josiah Gray is not ready for the bright lights of the show. We saw that at Dodger Stadium when he got absolutely murdered. Okay. He's only got called up because the Dodgers needed help. All right. And you know what? You're dominating single A and dominating double A. This isn't single and double A. This is the show. This is the big time. This is what they pay. This is like the 1% of the 1%. He's not ready. Nationals lose tonight, Will. I almost made a mistake there by saying that. The Phillies are going to win. The Nationals are going to lose. But you have a minute here, Will, because you need to get to another show and tell me why the Nationals are going to win this game and convince me otherwise. But I believe the Phillies will win.
I actually think Josiah Gray is going to have his first good game as an MLB Major League pitcher. Grant said that the Phillies been playing pretty well, but they've been playing all right. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. They did lose 2 out of 3 against the Pirates. So that's not great, but they did win 15-4 yesterday. The Nationals won 2 against the Cubs this past weekend. Now, I mean, the Cubs are just as depleted as the Nationals, so you can't really say much there. But I think we see a good game from Josiah Gray today. He'll have his first big major league performance. The Nationals the Nationals are just going to tank at this point. They have no one else on their roster. They're basically fielding a AAA team. So they're not really too worried about wins and losses at this point, but it would be nice to see the biggest piece from their Dodgers deal that got rid of Scherzer and Trey Turner. It'd be nice to see him have a good game and show him that it wasn't a mistake to get rid of all those all of that star quality. So I think he comes out and puts on a performance.
No, it was not a mistake. It was a good move for the Dodgers.
It was a good move.
It was a good move for the Nationals too, honestly. Yeah. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. It was a good move for the Nationals.
No, I was saying I want him to prove that it was a good move on their part because, I mean, if you're a casual Nationals fan, you hated this and hated getting rid of Trey Turner. But Scherzer moving and Trey Turner moving on, that was all inevitable. So they had to get rid of them for value.
If you're a casual Cubs fan, you hated that move, all those moves too. And granted, it wasn't. I mean, listen,
the Cubs had a great trade deadline.
Yeah, the Cubs had a really good trade deadline. I saw that picture on Barstool of those girls like saying like we should have like checked the trade deadline before we bought tickets. Like that's the kind of stuff. Like you get the casual fans that are like think it's a bad move. It was a good move for them. Anyways, Grant, I know you disagree with this, but tell Will he's an idiot, and then we'll wrap it up here.
Will, you're an idiot.
There you go. All right. Anyways, that was Parlay Power Hour for August 2nd, 2021. We'll go final thoughts here. Grant, the one and only Mitchell, 94 and 74.
Yeah, 94. We're getting closer to that century mark. I know I started the show by taking a bunch of picks, but I've gone a week now only making 3. And I feel like I'm still doing better than these clowns on the show with me. So if you want to make some winning bets, make sure you go with me. And Will's still an idiot.
Well, I'm on your side now after he called us a clown. That's kind of ridiculous. Grant is a clown that does not know what he's talking about. Will the Wizard Reed, 62 and 55. How you feeling, Will? What final thoughts?
Those were 2 hurtful names that Grant just called me. He called me a clown alongside of you, and then he called me an idiot right after that. Just to
all right, you know what? This country's too freaking soft as it is now. Okay, names shouldn't hurt you, big guy.
No,
right?
they don't. I'm just saying that it would be hurtful if I wasn't phased and I didn't have Lakalola on my side. So we're all good.
Look at him flexing on us, Tanner.
Lakalola. Yeah, you're flexing on us for Lakalola. You know what? I'm 60 and 48. It's baseball season. Baseball is my main woman. Yesterday was National Girlfriend's Day. Grant, I didn't see you post anything for your girlfriend. Not sure if you were supposed to or not, but I saw I was going to repost like baseball and say, this is my girlfriend right now because that's what matters. And that's why I'm a successful bettor because I'm 60 and 48 and I pay attention to this stuff, and we're going to win today. We're going to win today because no distractions, baby. No distractions. Will, you're going to be tied up with Lakalola, and then you're probably never going to show up for the show again. That's how it's going to work. But anyways, subscribe to the Sports 2.0 Network on YouTube, guys. Got a lot of great content. Almost at 1,000. We're going to the freaking moon, as usual. What do you think? Will is not an idiot. I think Grant's the idiot to end the show. We'll go with that. Me and Will are on the same team. If you are a Patriots fan, Pat's freaking nation, watching the show right now, Will the Wizard Reed will be talking with Ryan Goetzian and a surprise guest who apparently has a really good personality about the Patriots dynasty, the old time, the good times. So if you want to check that out, make sure you do that. That was Parlay Power Hour for August 2nd. Check out Will's show at noon, and we will talk to you tomorrow for another episode of Parlay Power Hour.